Hello. So whenever people learn that I'm from Vietnam, the next thing they say is, "Whoa, really? I was in China 2 years ago." Wow, good for you. I've actually never been to China, so that's a good thing. So it's funny yet incredible how we have this freedom to say whatever we want, whenever we want, regardless of how relevant our information is at times. But that is the beauty of this country. That is a freedom. That freedom is something that a lot of us take for granted. But for many people, including me, it's a luxury that we have to fight for every day. So here's my story of coming to America. So 14 years ago, I came to this wonderful country from Dalat City, which is this very small town in Vietnam, to Oregon, Illinois, which is another super small town. Nobody have heard about it. I think one person I've met for the 14 years I've been here knew about it. So, and then that was under a J1 visa, which is an exchange student visa, which you can only have for once in your entire life. And then after that, my mother said, "You know what? You're not going back to Vietnam. You have to stay in the U.S." So she packed me and sent me to Denver, Colorado. So from a J1 visa, I moved to an F1 visa, which is an independent international student visa, which is more paperwork, more things to do, and you cannot finish your F1 in the same school as your J1 visa for some reason. So I moved to Colorado and finished my junior year there. But then I started thinking, wow, you know what? Maybe I can come home early if I combine my junior year and senior year together. So that's what I did, and I graduated from high school in 2003. And my mom said, "You know what? You're not coming home. You have to finish your college in the U.S. because our education in Vietnam is so terrible. You're not going to be able to find jobs." So once again, I packed my bag, changed my visa again from an F1 from a high school student to an F1 in an international school at Oxford College. And actually, not an international school, Oxford College, yay! Best decision ever made in my life. The best years of my life I spent at Oxford College. I met my best friend there, and I met my host family who took me in as a stranger and loved me as one of their own. My sister is here today supporting me. So she's here. So as an F1 student, you can only work on campus. You have something called a CPT, which is only part-time. So good luck if you don't have money and you can't work anywhere else. And then at the end of your year and senior year, you are granted a full-time CPT. And that's when you can work, and then you try to find another company to sponsor you after you finish your year there. So in 2009, after searching for a lot of companies, US Bank actually accepted me to work in their company as a full-time OPT, which is an internship that you can have for 1 year after you graduate. And then from your OPT, what you have to do next is to apply for something called an H-1B visa, which is a visa that can last up to 6 years of 2 terms. So the first term is 3 years, and after that you can extend it. I went home in 2009 because I was very homesick, and I didn't see my family for 7 years. And then I came back to study again for my master at Hamline University, and the cycle started again. So part-time CPT, and then once I finished in 2011, it's a full-time OPT, and you can just keep going and keep going. Meanwhile, I was working to get my H-1B for my company. So I was lucky enough that US Bank actually was committed to me and sponsored my H-1B. Woo! So H-1B visa, even if you are good enough for your company to sponsor you and go through all this legal process and everything else, it's a lottery process. So once you put your application in, if you are good enough and lucky enough that your company will sponsor, and you are not lucky enough to get into the lottery system, you will pack your bag and go home again. Fortunately, I was blessed enough that I got my H-1B, I stayed. And then in 2012, my company extended my visa for another 3 years. So from now until 2018, I am safe as an H-1B student, workers. But then what do you do next? The next step, I'm not here. Finally, I figured it out. I'm not here just for my own future, but I'm here for my family, my sister, my brother, and my parents back in Vietnam. So the next step is the green card, which is so close, hopefully soon. I'm working with my company to get my green card right now. So a lot of people ask me, is it worth it, Tina? Is it worth it all these years being away from your family, the frustrating and strenuous immigration process, the worries, and the fear that I have to face every day. And I said, yes, you know what? Because of this country, I am here today. So thank you.